After securing a 2-1 victory against Glasgow Rangers, Newcastle United's preseason rollercoaster ride continues. From Sandro Tonali's breathtaking debut to Harrison Ashby's winning goal, this match had it all. Join us as we take a deep dive into the team's recent 2-1 victory against Glasgow Rangers and discuss the 5 things we learned from the game. And also, will they secure Southampton's Tino Livramento for a whopping £25 million? Are they really close to signing Leicester City's talented winger, Harvey Barnes? And what's the deal with AS Monaco's Axel Disasi? Negotiations ongoing or just agent talk? Plus, find out the shocking news that Newcastle may be losing star player Allan Saint-Maximin to a Saudi Pro League club. So stick around to find out what's next for the Magpies. So the team's recent 2-1 victory against Glasgow Rangers was a great match, with some standout performances from the Newcastle United players. They went head-to-head against Rangers at Ibrox, and the Magpies were looking to keep their winning start to preseason alive. Thanks to goals from Miguel Almiron and Harrison Ashby, they managed to secure a 2-1 victory over the home team. Almiron's goal was a result of some fine play from new Toon debutant Sandro Tonali. Tonali played a lovely 1-2 with Elliot Anderson before the Geordie slid the ball into the Paraguay star's path, and he tucked it home. The one-goal cushion was no more than Newcastle deserved, but Rangers started to come back into the game as the match wore on, with Todd Cantwell and Sam Lammers testing the United defense. Lammers would score the equalizer when cashing in on a mix-up between Bruno Guimaraes and Karl Darlow, but Ashby won it with 3 minutes left. It was a thrilling game, and here are the 5 things we learned from it. Firstly, Sandro Tonali, the Newcastle debutant, was a revelation. The Italian midfielder arrived at Newcastle from AC Milan for a whopping £55 million earlier this month, and he wasted no time in making an impact. He started brightly on the right-hand side of Newcastle's midfield 3, and he looked confident and strong in possession. Tonali was heavily involved in Almiron's opening goal with a crisp pass to Elliot Anderson, and he appears to have the physical attributes to adapt quickly to Premier League football. In the first half against Rangers, Tonali made 101 total touches, completed 98 passes, and played for 45 minutes. He had a pass every 27.55 seconds, which is a great start for a new signing. Tonali was composed and aggressive at the right times at both ends of the pitch, and the early signs suggest he will be a fine addition to Newcastle's midfield as they prepare for a demanding season in England and abroad. Secondly, Miguel Almiron looks set to continue his impressive performances from last season. The Paraguay star looked busy and caused problems with his first-half goal, which was the perfect way to start preseason. Almiron deservedly opened the scoring for Newcastle in the 16th minute with a composed, left-footed finish. He looked sharp and dangerous throughout the game, and he looks set to be a key player for the Magpies this season. Thirdly, the youngsters continue making the most of their opportunities. One such player is Harrison Ashby, who is making a name for himself at Newcastle, and he did himself no harm with his performance against Rangers. The young defender came on as a substitute and scored the winning goal with just 3 minutes left on the clock. Ashby rose highest to reach an Alexander Isak cross late on and give the visitors the win. It was a moment he will remember for a long time, and it showed that he has the potential to be a valuable member of the Newcastle squad this season, while Elliot Anderson is another young player who continues making waves at Newcastle. The midfielder had another impressive display against Rangers as he weighed in with another assist. Anderson showed some great touches and another display of his on-field vision to locate teammates. He must be in the mind of the head coach for the start of the season, and he could be a valuable asset to the team as they look to compete in the Premier League this year. Finally, the Newcastle defense held up well against a spirited Rangers side. Despite conceding the equalizer to Sam Lammers, the likes of Fabian Schär, Dan Burn, and Karl Darlow put in solid performances to help the Magpies secure the win. Darlow bounced back from the mix-up with Bruno Guimaraes to make a key late save to deny Rangers a draw by keeping out Lowry. Overall, it was an entertaining match that provided plenty of positives for Newcastle United fans to take away. Almiron, Tonali, Anderson, Ashby and the defense were all standout performers, and the Magpies will be hoping to carry this momentum into the upcoming Premier League season. But that's not all. There were other notable performances, such as Kieran Trippier's driving force down the right-hand side and Anthony Gordon's excellent play down the left. All in all, there were big positives to take from that run-out, and the early signs suggest that Newcastle United has a strong squad for the upcoming season. Then moving on to some transfer news. So according to recent reports, Newcastle United is set to increase their bid for Southampton's talented right-back Tino Livramento by a whopping £10 million, after their initial £15 million offer was rejected. Newcastle's persistent pursuit of the 20-year-old is no secret, and the Magpies are now preparing to increase their offer to secure an agreement with the Championship club. Eddie Howe, Newcastle's manager, has identified Livramento as one of his top targets this summer as he seeks to strengthen his defensive options. Newcastle has been in talks with Southampton over a deal for Livramento for some time now, and are reportedly willing to go as high as £25 million to secure his services, which would be a significant increase from their initial offer. Livramento is a highly rated youngster who joined Southampton from Chelsea for a reported £5 million in 2021. He had a sensational debut season at the club, scoring 1 goal and providing 2 assists in 32 appearances before suffering a horror anterior cruciate ligament injury that kept him on the sidelines for 13 months. He only made 2 substitute appearances towards the end of the 2022-23 campaign after his return from injury. Livramento's impressive performances have caught the attention of several clubs, including his former club Chelsea, who reportedly have a buyback option for the England under-21 international worth £38 million, which becomes active this summer. In addition, Chelsea has a significant sell-on clause inserted into the deal, ensuring that they will receive a substantial portion of any future transfer fee. Newcastle currently has Kieran Trippier, Javi Manquillo, and Emil Kraft capable of playing at right back, but sees Livramento as a long-term investment and a valuable addition to their squad. The Magpies have already made a significant move in the transfer market this summer, securing a mega money deal for Italian international Sandro Tonali, and are now looking to strengthen their defensive line with the acquisition of Livramento. Then moving on, recent reports suggest that Harvey Barnes, Leicester City's talented winger, is getting closer to a move away from the club, with Newcastle United being the most likely destination. Barnes, who is a product of Leicester's academy, is one of the players expected to leave the King Power Stadium this summer, following the Foxes' relegation to the Championship at the end of the last season. While a number of top-flight clubs, including West Ham, Tottenham, and Aston Villa, have been linked with an interest in Barnes, it appears that Newcastle are leading the race. Earlier this month, there were reports that the Magpies were closing in on a deal for Barnes. Now, according to the Daily Mail's reliable football journalist Tom Colomos, Barnes is edging closer to moving to Newcastle, and there is a strong possibility that a deal could be finalized this week. It is being speculated that Newcastle would pay a fee of around £35, £40 million for the talented winger, which is similar to the fee that Leicester received from Tottenham for James Maddison. Barnes, who has 2 years remaining on his contract with Leicester, had an impressive season last year, scoring 13 goals and providing 1 assist in 34 Premier League appearances. One of his most memorable goals came in the final day win over West Ham. However, Barnes has missed Leicester's first 2 pre-season games, leading to increased speculation about his future. Still, Leicester's new manager Enzo Maresca confirmed after the Northampton match on Saturday that Barnes was out due to an injury. Nevertheless, the City boss refused to comment on Barnes's future, adding to the speculation surrounding the player's imminent move to Newcastle. Then, in a shocking turn of events, reports are coming in that Newcastle is set to sell one of their star players, Allan Saint-Maximin. Just yesterday, the Magpies played in a friendly against Rangers, but Saint-Maximin was conspicuously absent from the squad. This has fueled rumors that he may be on his way out of the club, and today those rumors have been confirmed by Craig Hope of the Daily Mail. According to Hope, representatives from Saudi Pro League clubs have contacted Newcastle United about a possible transfer for the 26-year-old winger. One Saudi club, Al Ahly, is reportedly in talks with Newcastle over the sale of Saint-Maximin, and a deal could be reached in the next few days. This news will undoubtedly come as a blow to Newcastle fans, as Saint-Maximin has been one of the standout performers for the club in recent seasons. He was instrumental in their survival in the Premier League last season, and his departure will leave a big hole in the team. It's also worth noting that this potential transfer could raise questions about the club's ownership once again. Saudi Arabia has been linked to Newcastle United in the past, and the fact that a Saudi club is interested in Saint-Maximin will only fuel those rumors. But it's not all bad news for Newcastle fans. It was recently reported that the club is close to signing Harvey Barnes from Leicester City. Barnes is a talented winger who has been in impressive form for the Foxes, and his arrival could soften the blow of losing Saint-Maximin. It remains to be seen whether a deal for Saint-Maximin will be reached, but it's clear that his future at Newcastle United is uncertain. It's a case of one in, one out for the Magpies, and unfortunately, the one out will create heartache on Tyneside. So let's see how this story develops. Then recently, there have been reports circulating that Newcastle United has opened talks to sign Axel Disasi from AS Monaco. This news has sent shockwaves through the footballing world, and fans are eagerly waiting to see whether this deal will come to fruition. According to reports, Newcastle United has reached a verbal agreement with Disasi over personal terms. However, negotiations are still ongoing over the transfer fee. The Northeast Giants are said to be in the very early stages of the negotiating process, and it remains to be seen whether they will be able to secure the services of the talented 25-year-old centre-back. If the deal goes through, it is reported that it could be done for around £40 million, a hefty sum, but one that would be worth it for a player of Disasi's caliber. The AS Monaco defender has been in impressive form since joining the club from Stade Reims in 2020, and his current contract runs until 2025. His experience and talent would undoubtedly be a valuable addition to the Newcastle United squad. However, in a recent twist, Keith Downie has claimed that the reports of Newcastle United pursuing Disasi may not be entirely accurate. According to Downie, it is actually the player's agent who is pushing for Newcastle to sign him, and the club itself is not actively pursuing the signing. This news has left many fans confused and wondering what the future holds for both Disasi and Newcastle United. So it remains to be seen whether Newcastle will indeed sign the promising Frenchman. Then in other news, according to the Daily Mail, defender Kelland Watts is set to join Wigan on a loan deal that will become permanent when his contract expires next summer, with the Telegraph also claiming that Bournemouth are in talks over a deal for Newcastle United goalkeeper Carl Darlow, while Watford are interested in taking Jamal Lewis on loan.